right, guys, welcome back to another video. Lots to talk about today. Huge day in gaming yesterday with the state of play. Lots of games that got announced for multi-platform. Got some new controllers from Xbox, plus an interesting weird thing going on here with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. We will talk about all of that, but before we continue, a word from the sponsor of today's video. We want to talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, which is currently available right now on the PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and Steam. And if you haven't played it yet, not a better time to pick it up than right now. From September 19th to September 26th, it is 30% off on Steam. And it's an amazing game. I played it when it first came out. The Big Brother version of Persona with its more darker themes and narrative and morally great choices, as well as awesome heavy music and just great combat characters and stories. So if you haven't picked up Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance yet, now is the best time. 30% off on Steam, September 19th until September 26th. All right, so let's start off here and talk about the state of play. Just a quick my assessment of it. I thought overall, if you're looking at the showcase as a showcase of games that you can play on every platform, essentially, it was a pretty cool showcase. There's lots of games that are going to be available. If you're looking at it from a showcase that specifically is for PlayStation, what is PlayStation's first party, or what is PlayStation here to offer that you can't get anywhere else? It saved itself at the end, but overall was still a pretty lackluster state of play, which has been the theme now going on 2 years here for PlayStation. I feel like 2025 is going to be a huge turning point. I feel like they're going to have a big state of play or a showcase, and it's all of the last 2 years where they've been developing games that are going to be coming out for PlayStation from their first party studios are going to be shown off, and finally going to get a big one. This wasn't it. Again, it was still kind of lackluster, specifically looking at it from a PlayStation point of view. But if you just like video games, which I just like video games, there was tons of stuff here, multi-platform. I'm not going to go over the whole showcase, but this is the multi-platform announcement for everybody out there that will be available on Xbox, some of these on Switch as well, and also PC. Lunar Remastered Collection is coming, so that's really cool to see that, getting that remaster and making its way back. You have the Alan Wake 2 Lake House expansion, which is going to be dropping. You have the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver Remastered coming to every platform. This was leaked before the state of play as it showed up on PSN, and you saw all the console warriors going out there and pretending like this wasn't going to be releasing on Xbox or even on the Nintendo Switch, but logically it would be going everywhere that they could sell this game. One of the things that these showcases do very well, and I think it does work if you're somebody who doesn't follow the industry as closely as myself, or maybe you out there watching the video, is they show off these games, and then at the end of the trailer, they only put the platform of the showcase. So in this example, it would just say PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and it does trick a lot of people thinking that the game is exclusive. I think back to Hogwarts Legacy, that for the longest time, I heard people saying it, and I would read people thinking that Hogwarts Legacy was exclusive to PlayStation when it wasn't the case. They just had the marketing rights and they showed that off at the showcase. Next up is Fantasian Neo Dimension coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Dynasty Warriors Origins, PS5, Xbox Series, PC. Hell Is Us coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And then Fear the Spotlight coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. And Arc Age Chronicles coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So like I said, if you just like video games, there's lots of stuff here to look forward to. And Xbox put out a pretty sassy tweet here after the state of play. I like when they go at it like this. It makes it fun and makes it interesting. They put this tweet out and say, if you look closely, you'll notice these games are coming to Xbox, and they go ahead and they list them. And there's, again, another one here. Dynasty Warriors Origins was shown off. You had the Shredder's Revenge DLC. That's the game is actually available on Game Pass. Also Dragon Age The Veilguard, Monster Hunter Wilds, like more stuff here. All multi-platform, Sonic and Shadow Generations, again, coming to Xbox as well. So overall, for games, good showcase from PlayStation's perspective. The big thing that saved it a little bit from their first party perspective, I would say, is Ghost of Yotai. And that is coming from Sucker Punch in 2025. It is been confirmed here. This is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. This is nothing like a Miles Morales style game. This is the next game in the series. The Jin story is over. They said this is like 300 years in the future. So there's going to be a lot of discussion about that going forward as to whether people do want to see that. But state of play overall, not terrible. If you like video games, it was a pretty cool show. Now, the other thing that they did mention and show off here was Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which has been in the rumors for a while now, so we knew this was coming, and it's kind of hilarious, the type of remasters that PlayStation does for games that just don't need it. Like Horizon Zero Dawn does not need a remaster whatsoever, but it is coming to PS5 and PC. But it's, again, PlayStation doing their stupid thing here. I would say, anti-consumer thing here for probably upgrades that aren't just going to be that big, but you do have to pay $10 to get the upgrade if you are on PlayStation 5 and on PC. If you own the Horizon Zero Dawn right now, you're going to have to pay the $10 if you own the basic version or the complete edition. So that's kind of annoying. That's something that's been a trend with PlayStation with their upgrades. If you compare it to Xbox, where you just automatically get the next gen version when you pop in the disc. If you have the Xbox One game, you put into your Xbox Series X and S, boom, you get the newest version of the game. Now, if you don't own the game at all, it is going to cost $50, and they say here you will receive the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. So it's $10 for a remaster. The other thing I would say, that as somebody who is a PlayStation VR 2 owner, I was kind of happy with the games that they showed off, Metro Awakening and the Hitman VR game, which looks pretty cool. Finally, something for PSVR 2, which has just been collecting dust ever since I did pick it up. So that was the showcase. I'd love to know your thoughts on that in the comments below. All right, let's jump over here. Lots of other things. We'll start off here. I mean, Black Ops 6, this game is going to be huge when it does launch. Obviously, the whole story about it launching into Game Pass, how will this affect sales, all of that stuff. People will definitely scrutinize when this game releases, as I've said my opinion is, and it could be completely wrong, but I think it's going to be just a win-win for Xbox. You're going to get sales from PlayStation, you're going to get uptick in Game Pass, and it's still going to be probably the best-selling game of the year. The beta has come and gone. I thought the beta was very fun, so I'm looking forward to it. But Treyarch did put out a blog post, and they highlighted the things that we should be expecting to see here for the official version of this game from updates that were in feedback was taken from the beta. It says here, a blog post on Tuesday, Treyarch highlighted some key areas of the game it's updating over the next month based on its in-game data and user feedback. And they say, now that we have 2 weeks worth of player data, we've already made big strides in dialing in our spawn logic and identifying and resolving issues within the spawn system across the game for launch, which I think is a good thing. I believe spawn was kind of weird when I was playing the beta. It says, on the performance front, the studio says it's been able to chase down sources of in-game hitching and deploy major fixes since the close of the beta. And they've also acknowledged that common feedback about the low headshot damage, adding that it's working on adjustments to many weapons to reward players who land multiple headshots during an engagement. Good to hear about that, because I felt that was kind of weird as well during the beta. They're planning to improve the bullet penetration system so that there's less instances of bullets doing far too much damage or not doing enough through certain surfaces. And they will also include improvements to fluidity of sniper ADS, as well as they say here that improved fluidity when swapping weapons during sprint and tactical sprint. They say a reduction of weapon motion during crouch transitions and a small lift to shotguns and targeted adjustments across all weapons to keep SMGs from overperforming relative to other classes. So those are some of those big changes that they are making, and I guess they're also trying to, they say, dial in some additional updates to improve fluidity and allow players to tune their sprint behavior for their individual playstyle. So go check out the blog post, I guess, if you want a more in-depth and the whole breakdown of everything that is changing. But they definitely took that feedback and they're going to utilize that to make the game better at launch. Again, this game does release October 25th. It is going to be a huge launch, especially because it is on Game Pass, and everybody who has Game Pass is probably going to be jumping in and playing it. And I can't wait to play the official release here of Black Ops 6. Okay, let's talk about this, because if you're a controller fan, I mean, Xbox, they have an unlimited amount of controllers. They're always releasing new ones. It's kind of like an ongoing joke now about you're always going to get something new here in terms of the controller side from Xbox. And back when they didn't have games, now they have lots of games. So back when they didn't have games, we were getting more controllers than actual games from Xbox. They have announced a new line here, and I think this is an awesome line, as well as a brand new controller, a brand new white controller. It looks phenomenal. This is going to be hard for me not to purchase, but this is what it is. The Transparent is back and introducing the Cypher series. They say, the wait is over. We're thrilled to unveil the Cypher series for the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller here with your Xbox Design Lab. So you can see there's multiple different colors. If you do want to make a Elite Series 2 in Design Labs, you can now put the transparent faceplates onto this, as well as some interesting colors here for the accessories that come with it, like the Cypher color scheme that they are going for, which looks pretty cool. I love the transparency. I've always liked transparent controllers in video games, and I love what they are doing here. But if you just want the regular Xbox Series controller, they are also announcing the Ghost Cypher. And I talked about this yesterday, and I was like, the Ghost Cypher, they didn't know what the color was, but you could assume it's probably like a white or gray, and it is going to be a white transparent controller with metallic bronze D-pad and triggers, and it just, I mean, it looks absolutely phenomenal. So very cool stuff here from the controller front. If you are a fan of collecting all of the Xbox controllers, this is definitely one you're probably going to want to add to your collection just because of how cool it does look. Okay, let's talk Ubisoft. Well, we have two things to talk about for Ubisoft. We'll start off with this one because, as we know, when Xbox purchased ABK, one of the concessions they had to make because of the CMA was giving off the rights for cloud gaming, giving it to another company to be able to distribute the games across various different cloud streaming platforms. They chose Ubisoft for that, and we've seen Xbox games now on NVIDIA GeForce Now, as well as other smaller streaming services. And now it seems like what that deal that has happened says Ubisoft has already recouped the money it spent on Activision cloud gaming rights. So they obviously had to bid on it, and they were the winners. But they say here that just about a year ago, Microsoft closed its acquisition. However, in order to get the deal done, as I said, with the CMA, they had to give the rights to all past and future games for Activision titles for up to 10 years to Ubisoft. And they paid about 50 million to 100 million euros. That was the estimation as to what it was. And then they say here that this makes things clear. First, the cost of acquiring ABK streaming rights was between 50 and 100 million euros. And secondly, they have already made back the initial purchase price through their licensing. And back in May of 2024, so it's actually been a while now since this has been announced, that they, or in their transcript, that they had said that they had made back the money. They had come out here and said that we could say relative to the non-exclusive licensing of the streaming rights that the revenue came in at higher level than the initial purchase price, which we had been comprised between 50 million euros and 100 million euros. So this is a great deal for Ubisoft. With everything, especially that's going on with them right now, they're going to get a big return on investment on these Xbox games that they are going to be able to license out to different streaming services. So that's the good news for Ubisoft. The bad news for Ubisoft right now is there are a lot of campaigns trying to bring down Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed specifically, and it looks like they are backpedaling here, as we have this report here from Insider Gaming saying that they have canceled their press previews of Assassin's Creed Shadows. They came out, they were supposed to be at TGS, and they were going to show off the game and everything, do a deep dive there. They canceled that, and they've also canceled all of the press previews. And in fact, I think I saw some tweets. ACG was supposed to make a video. I saw his tweet on there, and he confirmed that he's not going to be putting the video out, and it's because of all of these press previews that have been canceled here. They say, according to various sources, the Assassin's Creed Shadows press previews were scheduled to take place next week, and the embargo date for the previews would be announced then. And at the time of writing, Assassin's Creed Shadows is still scheduled to release on November 12, 2024. However, the recent announcements may suggest that the game might be delayed. Now, we don't know any more information on this, why they're canceling it. You can come up to many different reasons as to why they would be doing this. I know there's a huge campaign against this game because of the protagonists and everything, and people saying that they've disrespected Japan. So maybe they have been looking at the sentiment online and thought, hey, we don't want to jump right into the fire right now in Japan itself and bring more unwanted attention to this game. and just go ahead and release it in November. Or maybe they're polishing the game up. Maybe they want to make sure that when it does release, there's no technical issues with the game whatsoever. There's no technical errors, and it is in the best state possible. So could this point to a delay past November? I don't know. It's hard to tell, because if you do think about it a little bit here, it is one of the games that is being advertised here with the PlayStation 5 Pro, which they just showed off at the State of Play, and Assassin's Creed Shadow was still in there. And if you're PlayStation, it's going to be one of those games that you probably want to highlight the differences, because it is, no matter what people think, whether they're for this game or against it, it is one of the biggest games to be released this year, and it's going to be huge. I think it's still going to sell very well. So they're still advertising with the PS5 Pro, so maybe this is more of a PR thing. We will have to wait and see. Not sure, because if you go to the Assassin's Creed X accounts as well, like they've been promoting this over the last couple of days. There's been videos and everything and tweets. So we'll see what happens here. I'm sure there'll be more information on what is going on here with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, let's talk God of War Ragnarok on PC. One of the most annoying things PlayStation does with their PC games, especially with single player experiences, I think it's kind of ridiculous, is they make you sign in to PSN. I think the main reason they're doing this is because they are getting ready to release like a PC launcher or something. That's my best guess there. But there is a PSN requirement here for God of War Ragnarok on the Steam version that people just don't want to create PSN accounts. See this, we saw what happened with Helldivers 2 and the debacle that was. Well, now it looks like there's a way to get around this, and this is not surprising. This was inevitable. This was going to happen. People were going to figure out a way to not have to do this. There is now a mod which allows you to remove the requirement entirely. And specifically, this is Nexus Mods users Artorias who has released this, and since this article has been published, it's been downloaded thousands of times. One of the other major things here with the PSN requirements, and they mentioned it here, is that the game cannot be used in 177 countries because the PlayStation Network isn't available in those regions. And yes, I get it. You can say people can use a VPN and make a PSN account and all that stuff, but still, it's very annoying that they are implementing this, especially on a single player game. I kind of get it with the multiplayer stuff, but with a single player experience here like God of War, there's no reason for them to make you sign into PSN. And now mods are going to bypass it. And again, that's what's going to happen when you're forcing gamers to do these types of things by implementing these practices that just don't make any sense whatsoever. All right, let's talk about this, because PlayStation is now being sued as well. And this is via Stellar Blade, for Stellar Blade. This is a film production company named Stellar Blade is suing PlayStation over Stellar Blade. Kind of a funny story. This is reported by IGN. Griffith Chambers Mahaffey, the owner of the film company, has filed a trademark infringement case against PlayStation, Shift Up, and an unnamed insurance company for using the trademark Stellar Blade. And the complaint adds that his business was damaged due to the similarity in the names and the logo. You take a look here at the logo itself, you see that as a film company logo. The owner, they say here, of the film company has claimed that his customers could easily find details about his business on the internet. However, since the game was released, his business has been overshadowed by Shift Up Stellar Blades in the searches, which is not surprising whatsoever. I don't know what the chances are that they could win this, and if he has a case here, but they are being sued here by Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is suing Stellar Blade. All right, let's talk here about Palworld quickly, because Palworld was announced for the PlayStation 5 at the State of Play, which the timing of this is wild because of the whole Nintendo lawsuit that is unfolding right now. But what is interesting here is that the port is on hold indefinitely in Japan, but it's going to be launching in most of the other countries that you can play it in right now. So Sony has included the PS5 launch of Palworld as one of its new items during the PlayStation State of Play, but it left out the detail that the game on PlayStation platforms is launching in 68 countries and regions worldwide, but Japan is not one of them. And this is because of the lawsuit, because of the patent infringement lawsuit by Nintendo. And we'll see how big of an effect this does have on the game itself, because I'm sure it would be big in Japan, especially on the PlayStation platform. It was on Xbox Game Pass and it was massive. It was on Steam as well and it was massive. But in Japan, of course, there's not many Xboxes that get sold there. I'm sure a lot of people with a PS5 would want to jump in and play this game. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.